Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. So the first person I see is Marianne. Welcome. Marianne, Rupanuga Prabhu in Australia.
Hare Krishna.
Ananda Sundari Devidasi, South Africa. Danaki, yes, Marianne. Danake and Vrindavaneshwari Didi. We are using every day your book stands, and we are remembering you through your book stands and through so many things. Very practical.
My webcam doesn't really, she don't want to work today. I don't know why, but I'm here. It's nice to see you.
All right, and I know it's the night there, but we've got your representative here in the daytime. We've got Leela Moy here with us and going on like a soldier. And we've got Praneshwari Devidasi to command the soldiers in the Zoom meeting, to look after us all. And Chintamani Devidasi, who is somewhere. I won't predict where she is, but her photo's London. And Tungarasa Devidasi in Norway, very early in the morning. So Tungarasa Didi, Dandavat and welcome. And I hear footsteps behind me. It's late. But not late. But please come and sit with us. Keshavananda Prabhu just arrived. And Sevarupa Devidasi just arrived. Maybe it was her footsteps I heard. No, it wasn't. It was Keshavananda Prabhu's footsteps. So, all right, the microphone is here. And Keshavananda was been preparing to say something to you all morning since breakfast time. At breakfast, he's saying, yes, I'll say something to I'll be, he said, I won't be the main speaker. No, he said, he said, I can be a speaker. So I said, yes, today you can be the A speaker and we can be the DEF speakers. So we've got Keshavananda Prabhu with us. And when we have him, we should try to draw some nectar. He's got a whole tablet on his tablet he can write. And he's got a whole tablet full of notes from things that he's seen and heard and done and read, etc. So he's a treasure chest, and so is his tablet. Yes, Ganga Leela Didi joined us also in the last few minutes. And so we've got Keshavananda Prabhu, Anandamaya Prabhu, and myself. I don't know who I am, but here we are, we're with you too. Who am I? What is the purpose of my life and how to achieve that? The necessary questions in this world. So, first of all, I know what's necessary, and that is that we should at least have a little vandanam. So, slowly, together, but with your microphones off. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sarvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya
Devam
Radha Krishna Padam
Sagata
Anvitam Om Jnana Timirandasya Dhyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvije Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvi Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Last but not least, our obeisances to you all here and on Facebook, and who is seeing us recorded on Facebook and on Zoom and wherever may be. But our obeisances to you all, and of course, very happily. So here we are, and actually we're in a slot or a spot that you might recognize if you've been a long time viewer of Back to Basics. This is maybe where even our very first online Back to Basics took place, where underneath a rice hut, this is a rice hut, We are under it in the same place, and we're sitting at a manual Singer sewing machine table with a door on the top of it, attached to it as a table. So it's an antique or rubbish, whichever way you look at it. And also in Brazil, by the way, one of the sweet devotees, it was Rajeshwari Didi, I believe, took me and a couple of others. We went to a museum, and it was an interesting museum about the history of Brazil and, you know, various things. But in that museum, they had these manual sewing machines, like I'm just mentioning, but sewing machines that they use today in India as absolutely normal. And even yesterday, we saw one being used in the villages here as normal. And it was there in the museum in Brazil as, oh, this is an artifact that should be preserved. So, you know, manual, we can still do things manually, like sew. Well, I can't sew, but anyhow, we can still do things manually. We don't have to rely always on electronic things. And by the way, yesterday, we also were in a place where they were cutting the rice by hand. And it's so gentle and so peaceful. They actually get more rice. I also learned you get more rice when it's cut by hand than with the big machine. And it's so much quieter. Anyway, I know anyway, so many things. It's all about economy. It's much more economical. Paramananda, to use machines, as it turns out. And like Paramananda said, that one tractor with certain equipment on the back in 1 hour can do the work of like 6 men for a week. So, you know, it all comes down to economy. But another point is, if we're just being practical in the world, somebody has to be making those machines in, you know, nasty factories. Whereas it's very simple to go and do material things. Anyway, it's interesting. Yesterday we went to really a remote part of Thailand, and there is a gifted designer, clothing designer. They make their own fabric, they weave it by hand, they make their clothing, and he's got this village industry in the village he's born in. And so he works, he's got his house there, and his house is entirely made of bamboo, and it is no need for air conditioning or anything. It is just a gentle, airy, sweet place, and he employs, like, I don't know, half the village, but he's got like so many people there making things, and such a happy mood amongst the people. And so this is a little experience for us yesterday, stepping back in time, and very much reminded me of Bengal, especially when we were first going to Bengal, when still they're using the buffaloes for plowing the fields, still cutting all the rice by hand. Electricity was almost zero, and very simple lifestyle. So anyway, a little blast from the past yesterday, a reminder that we don't actually need all these modern things if we lead our life the way our ancestors did for thousands of years, by the way. And they survived long enough to have us, didn't they? Human race didn't die out because they had to cut the rice by hand. Hare Krishna.
Mahārāj, Dana mentions in the chat, it's an upcycled table because you are using it for seva.
Oh, this table. Oh, it is a sewing machine. I'll give you an opportunity to see Keshavanand's holy feet and the sewing machine. Can you see that sewing machine mechanism? And then the table is on the, like a window, I think, or a door is on the top, attached. And you didn't see Keshavanand's feet. Oh, he's hiding them. Okay, Keshavanand's feet are down there somewhere. And so is our
But we
Śrīla
see Lila Moyes.
Yes. Worse.
All right.
Mahārāj,
Anyway,
Mahārāj, I
but
wanted to
quick-
comment I wanted to comment that Jivana Didi is sending her obeisances. She has not come because Ashra Mahārāj is in Sokel, so she has been really very busy, but she follows BBBC next day. So she says that her heart is here.
Okay, Jivana, we feel your heart, we are with you. And as I have experienced, and as we all have experienced, seeing recorded is also almost like being live, and especially when we get a chance like this, just to say a direct hello to you and our obeisances to you, Jivana. And very good to hear that you kept busy with Ashram Mahārāj being there. And we look forward to hearing some updates presently, to hear the devotional adventures you've all been doing in the association of Śrīla Ashram Mahārāj. So beautiful, very beautiful. And I hear that Hasya Priya from the Socal temple, he was in India and he's on his way here to the farm. So if we can recruit him as a VIP speaker in one of these upcoming back to basics, the next one or the one after, I'm not sure his itinerary or our itinerary for that matter. So let's see. So Socal is on, well, it's always on the map, but Socal devotees are being remembered right now. Okay, let us quickly come to Krishna consciousness, Krishna Katha, the basics of bhakti. And indeed, the priority is always seva. When service comes to us, we should do it and say, oh no, I am too busy listening to something I usually listen to, or doing my regular sadhana of reading. Now is my time to read at 7 a.m. No, I can't come and make breakfast or something like that. It shouldn't be like that. When the service necessity comes, we should be there ready to do service. So Jivana, she's doing the service necessity, busy with the devotees headed by Ashram Mahārāj there in Socal and San Jose. And here we are, and we've got Kiśora, who's already primed up to be the speaker today to give us our back to basics. No pressure, and we are all looking forward to hearing what he has to say. And we're with good devotees.
Yeah.
Radha Sundari joined us also just now. All are good devotees. Good devotees are there at least. This is our... sorry, and here. Yeah, this is our guru. I better stop speaking before I get into trouble. Okay, here's Keshavananda.
Pandava, Tuti devotee. So Mahārāj just sprang this on me, so
I
no
didn't.
preparation.
An hour and a half ago.
So, but he's right. I do like to write things down, and I can see a Chintamani that is here somewhere by, she's standing in the street in London in a big hat in front of a bus. Not in front of a bus, but by the side of a bus, hopefully. I know she's always scribbling away in her notebook during class or other times. And when we arrived at the festival here, we were given little teeny tiny notebooks like this. This one's got a little pilot on the front, and I wrote Captain Nimai Flick on it because he's our god brother pilot, Rai Kishori's brother. So there he is on the book.
Pilot of jumbo jets, no less. He's got his license.
He's a jumbo jet pilot. So I've got my Captain Nimai Flick book. Then I've got my tablet. Then I've got my actual notebook. And I just like to write things down because it helps me remember, and it's a beautiful, I don't know what the word is, exercise, meditation, just something pleasant to do. Śrīla has got a tablet and she can split the screen, so she has Guru Mahārāj or Gurudev talking in a video, and then she just transcribes the video. It doesn't matter whether it's already been done before. That's not the criterion. It's just a way of listening attentively and concentrating, which is very nice. It's a nice thing to do. I mean, everybody's different and everybody has their own ways of doing things. And then you can just sort of randomly open the notebook and you can be reminded of wonderful things. So at the end of the festival, Srila Madhusudana Maharaj had as people were leaving, he'd have them get out their little notebooks and find out what they'd written down, give some and people had written different things, of course. Everybody's different. Everybody hears something that particularly touches them or appeals to them. And it was really wonderful, actually, hearing those things. So anyway, that's just a personal personal thing, really. But everybody, it's a very wonderful thing to do, to hear and trying to, because my memory is rubbish. I can't remember anything very well. It takes me a long time to learn anything, but so if I write it down, at least I can come back to that wonderful thing I heard and remember it again, like it's ever fresh. In my case, it's always ever fresh because I can't remember it from before. But that's wonderful. And then it has new life as well. You know, we've read so many of the books so many times, but still it's like a revelation every time you start a book again. It's like, well, I didn't hear that before, and wow, so many things that we hear. We catch new things, and of course, in the temple and on various broadcasts around the world, it's built into the day, so it's a natural thing. You're going to hear from Chaitanya Charitamrita, you're going to hear something from Guru Maharaj, you're going to hear something from Gurudev, and as well as kirtan and discussion and questions if you're lucky, and it's built into the day. But when we're on our own and we're not in the immediate environment with other devotees, then we can join in broadcasts, or if we can't do that, we have to make our own time to read or to chant and these things. And Devashish Prabhu gave very good advice in his, it was about japa, how to improve japa. And it was very straightforward, and it wasn't all esoteric things by any means at all. It was very realistic, fundamental things that he was reminding us, like to make time for your japa. I mean, a simple thing like that. Don't try to do it between other things, but ideally get up early, because that's probably the best time when you're not going to be disturbed by work or family commitments, and say that this time, from then till then, I'm just going to chant japa. It's going to be my japa time, and keep to that religiously as far as possible as we can. So really the same thing goes for, we have to hear something some way or other. And of course, in the modern world, I used to drive for a living pretty much, so I'd always have something on in the car. I know Śrīla is always saying, well, I heard in the car the other day, because she has Gurudev or Prabhupada or Guru Maharaj playing in the car. And even if I know you're not, you're driving, you're not necessarily 100%, you've got to concentrate 100%, but still, you will hear something, you will remember something, and you will be touched by something to give inspiration from them. So there's many, and we know that Mahārāj always has his headphones in. You see him walking around during the day, and his headphones will be in to make use of our time when we're not really doing anything else, or we are doing something else, but we can be hearing something at the same time. So anyway, these are all just sort of practical tips, and we had lots of practical, because it has to be practical advice from so many wonderful devotees here. We were so fortunate. It was like a master class in Krishna consciousness, really, what it is and what it isn't, and in a very affectionate family way, coming together and serving together. Very wonderful. So does anybody have a question, or is it or not?
Please check the chat. Check the chat.
Oh, check the chat. Check the chat. Oh, what did you
Sevarupa pasted today's calendar.
Disappearance.
Gaurangi Padma Bringaya Radha Bhavani Shaya I bow to our Guru Śrīla Gaura Kiśora Das, the pure devotee beyond social class, the bee in the lotus of the feet of Sri Gauranga, who deep in his heart serves Sri Radha forever.
Join.
Beautiful. Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj. So, yes. We don't know who is the Vaishnava. This is a very important point here. You know, we're always reminded a little bit of Lokanath Goswami and Narottam Das Thakur, because we celebrated his disappearance quite recently during the festival, and we heard the wonderful pastimes of those two great personalities. And Lokanath Goswami was, you know, absorbed in his internal worship. He was also searching out the places that had been covered. You know, Sri Vrindavan Dham had become forested and the places were lost. We didn't know where Radha Kund was. It was only when Mahaprabhu saw a pond in the middle of a rice field and went into ecstasies that Radha Kund again manifested to our, you know, what we can see of her came out. And the same with all these places of pilgrimage. You know, it's always important to remember that without Mahaprabhu, Jadi Gaudana Hoto Kobiki Oito came on a Dori Tande. Without Mahaprabhu, we wouldn't know any of these things. Not only that, we wouldn't know the places of Vrindavan had been lost. We wouldn't know where they were and the significance of them. So Lokanath Goswami and Bur Garva Goswami, these two Goswamis who aren't as well known as the 6 Goswamis that we hear about every day, but still servitors and associates of Mahaprabhu, and were there to on his order to look for and rediscover the places of the pastimes of Radha and Govinda. So he was, Lokanath Goswami was absorbed in this seva, and he didn't really want to have to deal with anybody very much. He didn't want disciples, certainly. We even hear that he'd keep his water pot upside down, because if it was the right way up full of water, somebody would come and ask for some water, and he would get drawn into, you know, he'd be pulled from his concentrated service mood. But by the affectionate service of Narottam Das Thakur, eventually his heart was melted and he relented and took Narottam Das as his disciple. And he was the only disciple Lokanath Goswami ever had, just this one Narottam Das. And of course, Narottam Das went on to have like 100,000 disciples, something like this, converted the whole state of Manipur in northeast India, was a great preacher and guru with many disciples. So sometimes it's compared with the situation of Śrīla Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī. I mean, the clue is in the name. The Bābājī lived in different he lived in different, I can't remember so many pastimes, but the ones that I do always make me smile because of the strength, that the just inconceivable and unimitatable strength of his natural renunciation cannot be copied, and people did try. You know, he would live here and there dressed in a loincloth, and we heard was to all intents and purposes illiterate. And yet Saraswati Thakur wrote of him, and yet all the wealth of all the deep understanding, knowledge, and wealth of spiritual understanding were contained in a particle of dust from his little toenail. That was his capacity. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when it came time, you know, for Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to take the shelter of a guru, he directed him to Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj. And in the same way, like Lokanath Goswami, he also was not really interested in taking on that role as guru, and we heard that he was also a little in their divine play. He was also, Śrīla Saraswati Thakur was already extremely learned and scholarly and strong personality. He's the son of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I mean, just that, so he was Guru Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj humbly didn't know whether so it took some time. I don't know how many times he was asked, but it took some times to and of course, so here we have, when he eventually accepted him, we have the guru who is illiterate in the material sense, not able to read and write. His disciple who is beyond scholarly. I mean, even now, if we try and when we have, I mean, ISKCON have published some. I know we had one called Relative Worlds or something. It was just a little book, Relative Worlds. We had it in the bookshop, I remember, and it's something from Saraswati Thakur. And I tried to read it, and I am English. I was born in England. I got my O-level in English, and I'd have to read each sentence 5 times, and even then, may absolutely not really understand what he was saying. His English was so high and so refined and so precise. Indeed, we heard that even his own disciples sometimes had difficulty. And who would they go to find out what did Prabhupada mean when he was saying that? What was the gist of what he was saying? They would go to Śrīla Maharaj because they knew that he would have caught it. And they'd go to Guru Maharaj and say, "Can you please explain?" I followed it to here, but then I kind of lost what Prabhupada was saying. So Śrīla Guru Kiśora Das Bābājī, extremely renounced and extremely you can see how having said all that, you can see how his disciple was the lion guru. And people used to come because he was famous for his renunciation. He was famous for being a substantial Bābājī in Navadvip, wandering by the banks of the Ganga, Suraduni Tate, Arada Krishna Bole. And so sometimes people approach him, they would want to stay with him. Other people would try and copy him. Many different things. And one time he's got some, not exactly disciple, but some young person or older person who's wanting to learn from him. And he says, tomorrow is a great festival day. Bābājī says, tomorrow is a great festival day, and we will have a great festival, great Mahotsav tomorrow. And then the devotee said, yes, but Mahārāj, we haven't got anything. We haven't got any sweet rice, we haven't got any milk, we haven't got any rice, we haven't got any potatoes, we haven't got any oil, we haven't got any sabji. What are we going to do for this great festival? And Guru Kiśora Das Bābājī says, we will fast and we will chant, twice as many rounds, and we will, like this. This will be our festival. Go, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And another time, people were coming to him, Hare Krishna, and wanting to hear from him. And he eventually he couldn't take it anymore, and he went and lived behind the latrines, behind the toilets somewhere. And someone horrified came to him and said, "Why? How can you stay here? The smell is terrible." He said, "I don't mind the smell here. What I cannot tolerate is the stench of materialistic people coming to try and exploit the Dharma and cheat." It's like, we can only bow down to this kind of personality. Guru Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj, who is the beloved guru of our Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, brought it all out, who could see the modern age coming. Up until then, this beautiful Susiddhanta, this beautiful conclusion and vision of reality, the beautiful, the environment is favorable, every wave is favorable, adjust yourself. It was only available you know, with a few sadhus in India, like Jagannath Das Bābājī Mahārāj, or like Kiśora Das Bābājī, wasn't available. And Bhaktivinoda and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur saw that this has got to change, because a new world is coming. The modern age is upon us. These things need to be written down. The books that only exist, you know, cut into palm leaves, a few copies here and there, if you can find them, need to be printed. They need to be printed in English. They need to be printed in all the languages of the world. And this wonderful substance needs to be broadcast far and wide. This is for everyone. This is for the world. And indeed, it was Mahaprabhu's prophecy, Mahaprabhu's desire that in every town and village, the people will have the opportunity to participate in the great Sankirtan of Gaura Hari. So I lost my thread a little bit there. So Bhakti so anyway, so it was him who collect, like, he couldn't, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur couldn't find so many things. I think even, you know, now we just got in the phone, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and there she is, ding ding, or you know, so many things. But it wasn't like that. Even Bhaktivinoda had to travel here and there. Upadeshamrita couldn't be found. Yeah, it took a long time to finally locate in the Radha Raman temple, I think. I heard that, but maybe not. But anyway, somewhere he found a copy of the Upadeshamrita, and copied it, had it copied out. So these personalities like Jagannath Das Bābājī Mahārāj, Gaura Kiśora Das, they were the repository of this wealth, carrying this wealth of Mahaprabhu, and utterly absorbed in that. Like, we're often reminded that when they were worshipping their deities, they weren't doing archana like I might do that, or like our Jai Gauranga might do that, or like any of us, like where we're doing some it's service to our Guru Day, that we're trying to serve the deities under the rules of Vidhi. You know, we do like this, we take the water there, we offer in this order, some rules and regulations is there. But when the Paramahansa Vaishnava is serving their Lord, they are serving their Lord. It's a real time, inconceivable thing that's occurring. So they were the repositories of that. Jagannath, Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj, and blessed us by accepting the young Bimal Prasad, who's already, you know, it's all their own play, like Narottam and Lokanath, also like Saraswati Thakur and Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj, and taking him as his one and only disciple, and then him going on and essentially converting the whole world, sending his sannyasis, his lions out to, and wanting to fight, not to, humble and tolerant, but when speaking the truth, no compromise there. That's why those of, the cheaters, or those who just, the cheaters ultimately, the Mayavadis and others who want to, as Prabhupada says, who want to cut the arms and legs of the Lord. That's their business. They don't know, from envy and sour grapes. No, if I can't exploit it, then it must be nothing. I'm not going to bow down. I'm God. Stop it all. So he wouldn't tolerate that. And they would run away when they saw him coming. Or sometimes they'd try and kill him. That also happened, because he's so powerful and so uncompromising. So he then, anyway, the rest is history, we can say, in that respect. The rest is the ongoing glory of Sankirtan movement coming out from India. With A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, we also celebrated and remembered him just recently, his disappearance day coming out. And on that day, we read the diary. Mahārāj read some of the diary he kept on the Jaladuta, which I'd heard bits and pieces of before, but we went by day, and it was so charming and sweet when Prabhupada is just saying what's happening on the sea that day, and the clouds, and how he's feeling, and what the conversation he had with the captain's wife, and this, that, and the other. It was very, very easy to read, and very, very nourishing, actually, of this 69-year-old man in poor health, really. I mean, he said several times, I would have died if Krishna hadn't stepped in here. And the captain and others of the crew saying, it must be because there's a sadhu on board, because we've never seen the Atlantic like this. We've never seen the Atlantic like this, like a glass. And Srila Prabhupada saying, yes, I think I would have died if it weren't. And I remember hearing from Goswami Maharaj, because he found that diary in an almirah, one of those metal cupboards they have in India with a lock, metal cupboard. At some point, he found that diary and was going through the actual. And he said those days when Srila Prabhupada was, could have died. He said instead of the writing, they were just like 2 lines through the page, like almost like tearing the page, just crossed out, till he again got new life and understood. Yes, this is my make me dance, I am yours, make me dance. So we can trace all this coming from a man who lived under a boat one night on the banks of the Ganga somewhere else, and was very kind of scary, you could say, in many ways. He's utterly fixed. Coming back to Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj. Sorry, yes. And fierce. And we know also, I mean, that Śrīla, somebody said to Śrīla Govinda Mahārāj, oh, I wish I could have met Śrīla Guru Mahārāj when he was young, when he was a young sannyasi, and and Gurudev, Govinda Mahārāj kind of smiling and saying, well, yeah, you probably wouldn't have lasted very long. You certainly wouldn't have lasted very long. Hare Krishna. And we can, we're just bowing down, and we can relish that as well, that yes, that must be true, no doubt. And by the infinite grace and the ocean of mercy of the Vaishnavas, that we have, come to the lotus feet of Srila Govinda Mahārāj, who found as an entrance to the lotus feet of Srila Śrīla Mahārāj, and was that via medium, you can say, or he arranged everything for us to actually go there. But then when we look back at these personalities, we're also, it's just so wonderful to hear of their personalities and their just divine power, that through these individuals, what we have now, with everything available and devotees all over the world in every country, is coming in such a short time. And then I can only lament, and still I am not taking them, still I am drinking poison. Hare Krishna. Oh, here comes Ramasundar Prabhu, looking very effulgent.
Dandavats.
This is Ramasundar Prabhu, the famous, being engaged happily in seva. Well, happily being engaged, we'll have to ask him if he is happy being engaged. But looking like he's nodding, so happily being engaged in seva here in Govinda Farm. Hare Krishna. and he looks like he's bursting to say something.
He's got a few
But-
shlokas he's bursting with.
But just before the bursting to say something, I'm also bursting to say something because I'm sitting
right.
listening to Kiśora, and I'm very grateful to him because actually it's so wonderful. I don't like to be the only person who talks to you and shares things with you, and I really do like that you can hear from others, and a very suitable others is Kiśora Prabhu, and so he's our A speaker. But one very sweet thing about that day of Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day just recently, and we were reading from that diary when he's crossing over. But then one very sweet thing was that the wife of the captain of the ship asked him, "Oh, please, you come back with us. I want you to come back with us on the ship, because when you're on the ship, it goes so smoothly. When I'm on the ship with my husband,
Right.
it's like her husband is the captain, but she's the wife, and so she has to go along with all the bouncing of the ship." But I thought that was very sweet of the captain's wife to say, "Oh, it'd be so good if you come back with us, and then it'll be smooth journey." Anyway, that was one thing. And there were other things. Oh, yes, I think it's in the book Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. There's a coffee table, whatever it is, table book with the title, big title on the front, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And I think it is in there, perhaps recorded, but certainly we've heard it authoritatively from there or somewhere else, that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in his humility, he said that when I came to Srila Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj for initiation, and then he was saying, "Oh, I have to ask Gauranga," and like this, and he didn't immediately give it a lot of attention, but yes, I'll have to ask Gauranga. And then he went back a second time, a little time later. Again, I don't know the actual time frame.
I think it was 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I heard Goswami Maharaj say.
Okay, Ramson was saying he heard the Goswami Maharaj saying 2 weeks. So after 2 weeks, he came back to Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj, and Mahārāj, I've come. Do you have an answer about my receiving initiation from you? And still Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj, he said to him that, oh, I forgot. I forgot. But I'll ask him something. I forgot. He took it kind of lightly. But then I think it was the third time, was it, that Srila Saraswati Thakur came. And then Srila Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj said, yes. And not only yes, but then he said, make arrangement immediately, this. But Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's own view of this from his, again, this is the humility of the Vaishnavas. And he is saying, his expression was that Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj knows that I'm very famous already at that time. He was very famous for his scholarliness, his strictness, his nature to challenge anybody, even when he was a student, a young student in the whether the school or the college, I'm not sure, but he was challenging senior persons who were saying wrong things, and he would come out victorious. So Srila Saraswati Thakur, he had fame already. Fame comes automatically to those with special capacity. And Srila Saraswati Thakur said, and I took it that Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj was showing to me that all of this knowledge, capacity to debate, and everything else, and name and fame, it is nothing. It's of no significance. What is the significance is the holy name and the saver attitude, like this. And this is Srila Saraswati Thakur's expression. And this way, that this Leela of him coming to ask for initiation from Srila Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj was one also to show to everybody that it is not grand learning, grand capacity. And as Kiśora was saying, Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj could, I understand, technically sign his name. He learned how to make the squiggles, but that was all. And so, you can say illiterate in the material sense of ABC or A, I, U in Bengali, because it has a different kind of alphabet running. But this was just something that came to mind. And a few other things also came to mind because there are various Leelas we hear about Srila Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj. And it is his disappearance day today. So maybe just a sentence or two, because we have a queue of devotees who would like to share, who are bursting to share something with you. That is that on this day of his disappearance, then when the news reached to Srila Saraswati Thakur, then he went from wherever he was to the place where Srila Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Maharaj's body was. And there he found the different groups of the Brahmins, anyway, different groups of sadhus around Navadip. They were all trying to say, oh, no, we take care of his body. We will look after his body, make a samadhi and everything. Because they are all thinking that if they have a samadhi of Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Maharaj, then they will get some money, is one thing, because people will come for pilgrimage, and as every pilgrim knows, or at least who comes on pilgrimage, under the banner of Chaitanya Saraswat Math, is every temple we must give some donation, and not 2 cents, like a 1 rupee coin or something. We want to give a donation. We want to render service at the temples, and this is known. And so those pilgrims coming to Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Maharaj's samadhi, they'll come and render some service. And this way, they'll get some money, but they'll also become more famous sadhu. Oh, we've got his samadhi. So when Srila Saraswati Thakur saw this, and that all these people only had an ulterior motive, they had no proper surrender to him or took his guidance. They had no proper surrender to Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Maharaj or took his guidance. But they're all in with another motive, whatever the motives may be. And Srila Saraswati Thakur said, no, I am his disciple. I will serve his form. I will serve his form. You have no right. You are only here to exploit. And there, of course, the people there also going to give objection. And then Srila Saraswati Thakur made some condition to them, that you are saying you follow him, but how many of you, who amongst you has not thought about women in the last 1 month? Did it begin? Yes, last 1 month. If any of you are clean in your heart for 1 month, then this way, and then step by step. Oh, didn't it start the other way around? 1 day.
No, it came.
Yeah, I think it went 1 month, and then everyone.
And some were left. Anyway, eventually, I just have a tiny bit of research here, but it may have started with 1 day. I don't remember exactly. That if anyone's not thought about women, anyway, it came to the fact that if any of you have not thought about women for 1 day, you may take charge of his body. And Srila Saraswati Thakur was very powerful. And when Srila Gurudev was perfectly telling this Leela, he said that all of those sadhus, they have some sadhu quality that they know they cannot lie in front of Saraswati Thakur. They know that. And that is clear. And this way, there's nobody there who could say that they'd not thought about women for 1 day, for 1 week, 1 month, like that. In other words, that they're not yet cleaned of the material attachments of this world. Lust, greed, anger, envy, all of these things which are here. And then Srila Saraswati Thakur, unopposed, took charge of the body of Srila Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Maharaj. And now that body of Srila Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Maharaj is at the Yogapith temple. Is that correct? Is it the Yogapith or the Chaitanya Mat? One of these.
Chaitanya Mat, I think.
Chaitanya Mat. Anyway, it's a long time since I've been in Mayapur, but it is under the care then of Srila Saraswati Thakur and under the care of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, not under the care of just, a sadhu who is looking after. So this matter also, again, showing the strength, the conviction and the purity of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur as the exclusive disciple of Srila Gaura Das Bābājī Mahārāj. So here we have two brahmacharis, Leelamoy Prabhu from Brazil and Ramasundar Prabhu from Thailand, it seems, from Sweet Lake City originally. But please bring the chair near, and you have, what, I can't see the time, 50, oh, not very long. You have a few minutes each to say something valuable about Krishna consciousness. And I'm first going to ask Leelamoy Prabhu, because he's been prepared for a long time to say something, all this time, and then we'll come to Ramasundar Prabhu. A few words.
Nonetheless, all of you, good to see you again. These last days we were having a lot of hiking, visiting some beautiful places, and I'm always be remembered by the devotees that all the environment, all the living entities, Krishna is behind of these living entities. And it's really good to, it's a really great reminder for us to see everything as Krishna. And early every morning we are chanting our japa, we are chanting our Gayatri and sing some songs early in the morning, right before the sun rising. And it's so beautiful each day. And being associated with the devotees, it's really a great honor to be here and to be part of this beautiful environment with beautiful devotees. Jai. 1 minute.
Okay, Jai.
1 minute.
Okay.
8 minutes.
I'm blanking.
Oh, okay. So Keshavan, we just looked it up. So Gaura Das Bābājī Mahārāj's body is at Sri Chaitanya Mat, which is the headquarters temple of all the Gaudiya Mats, the society established by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So his form is now there, and the samadhi is there. And on our parikramas of Navadip, then we go there and give honor to Gaura Das Bābājī Mahārāj. Okay, here's Ramasundar Prabhu, and Ramasundar Prabhu is looking after not only everybody, he's actually looking after the Govinda farm directly in many ways, and the guests from outside who come to use the facilities to help finance it, to help run it for the free use of the devotees when they come.
Well, I guess on the theme of Gaura Das Bābājī Mahārāj's disappearance day, Maharaj saying something of value, but I think that would be the focus then, just having to even know that his disappearance day is today and that we have some connection with him and that he's so, deeply rooted in, Gaura consciousness and Krishna consciousness that when Saraswati Thakur is asking for initiation, he's just saying, oh, I have to ask Mahaprabhu. Like it's a casual thing, like, of course, like I just have to ask him if this is fine, and just like, you describe it all. Yeah. Anyways, I'd say that would be the point of value is that just being able to be in connection at all, like remotely or whatsoever, with these Vaishnavas and pursue in that direction and follow under their guidance, take their instruction and stuff like that. It's on these days it's it's a more intense reminder of just our good fortune. That's all I can think of right now.
Back to basics. What's one of the basic things that keeps you remembering Krishna?
Basic things.
That you resort to when you forget Krishna.
I think the environment, like Leelamoy was saying, the environment,
Close to the microphone.
the environment is very helpful. That you see, you know what, if you're getting, like, sometimes I get too busy, caught up in what I'm working with, like, you know, doing some work and this and that, and then, you know, like, you'll see some birds fly by, and then it'll just like, oh, like, just a glimpse, like a easy reminder, like, oh, this is like all happening by the will of Krishna, and it's all, you know, just a constant reminder if you're paying attention, basically, which I'm trying to do myself. So
And if you like a hands-on reminder, when you look out of the window and see the birds fly by, a little while ago, 2 butterflies looking very beautiful and in love. Why not in love? I mean, why in love? Because the whole fields are here, but 2 butterflies are flying together along. So some attraction is there. And so they're going along. And also there's a very nice bird on the wire just nearby and tweeting away, all very beautiful. And then the bird comes, swoops down and eats 1 butterfly. Then it's a reminder that this world is looking so sweet, so beautiful, but it's just full of birth, death, old age, and disease. It's full of separation, it's full of affection and then broken affection. It's full of all the things which we get a little bit for a moment, something sweet, and then the reminder that, oh dear, we're almost pretending that we've been put into this place where we try to believe it's all perfect, this is what we're looking for. But when we get our eyes opened by the sadhus and by the scriptures, then we gradually can understand that this is a reflection. We're always told it's a reflection of the upper world. And so, you know, our heart goes out to the butterfly who lost her husband, or the butterfly who lost his wife. You know, there's that pain is there with the animals, with the birds. Why do they have the expression love birds? Because you see also birds going around in couples, and they're sitting there on the wires and all these things. It's where Guru Maharaj explained that everywhere there is attraction. That's how we are with gravity on the earth. The planets, the moon, the sun, everything is going with physical attraction. And then Guru Maharaj explains that when attraction comes into the plane of consciousness, then it becomes love, it becomes affection. So it is everywhere, and we are in the plane of consciousness. And by the way, I mean, really, what I would like everyone to know is the affection and the attraction of Guru Maharaj and of Gurudev, and no doubt of Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada we can get from the book, actually for everybody we can get from the books, from the recordings, from the videos, and from the devotees, some understanding about Srila Prabhupada's affection for all of the devotees. His attraction, how everyone is attracted to him. Similarly with Guru Maharaj, similarly with Gurudev. So we are here actually under the umbrella of those who have genuine affection, and not the kind of affection that disappears with a bird swooping down and having a meal, but the lasting affection, the affection of those who can give actual shelter. And so this is our world of bhakti yoga, of devotional service. And certainly it is clear to me that for myself and really for everyone, I'm clear that for everyone, the shelter, and when we need some prayer, when we need some shelter in difficulty, and we see devotees getting in difficulty, I mean serious difficulties again and again, life and death things, to make our prayer, to make our shelter to Gurudev, to Guru Maharaj, to Srila Prabhupada. This is where we are going to be safe and sound. This is where we are going, where we have our shelter. And when things are going here, there, and everywhere, where do we take shelter? We come to Guru Maharaj, we come to Gurudev, and we ask, what should it be? And the point is that so much of this is answered and becomes answered when we open the books and in our daily readings. And this thing about coincidence again and again, really so many things. A couple of days ago, something also happened, which is, one in how many million chance, but the 1 in a million chance happened. So, again and again, we see that coincidence doesn't really exist. When we come to take shelter of our actual shelter, our ashraya, the place which is our shelter, when we come to take shelter, we will get answers. As Guru Maharaj says, that our faith in Krishna, Guru and Vaishnava, is it real? Are we just imagining? It is real. They are real. The only weak thing is our faith in them. But they are real and they can do anything. But our prayer is not for our material anything. Our prayer is really we must find our way to be always thinking of Krishna, serving Krishna, associating favorably with the devotees, etc., etc. And now we'll leave you to continue your day. But also, super briefly, we've been having, in association of devotees, some eye-openers to the nature world, natural world here in Thailand, with very good people and with people whose heart. Yesterday, we can say, we learned heart hospitality from a family born, grown up, married, having their own children in the a very rural place, which not even on the map, and no track is on the map, even on our specialist track map, nothing is there. And we went with these people yesterday, friends of Paramanandapu, and such sweet hospitality that you could think this really is Vedic time, how to look after guests who come to your home. And anyway, may their example of hospitality, may that be an example for us in our dealings with each other.
Joy.
Did you have a good day yesterday?
Oh, it was a wonderful day, Maharaj.
Okay.
Every day is a wonderful day with the devotees.
Perfect. Every day is a wonderful day with the devotees. We are having a wonderful day with you all. I hope the same for you.
Dear Maharaj.
Yes?
Dear Maharaj, Marinero León in Mexico, he's a disciple of Śrīla Ashram Maharaj, and he's so happy that you were praising his Gurudev. He's sending a lot of obeisances, and Jagamohini, Didi, and Madhava Prabhu, he's also offering obeisances to Ashram Maharaj. And our dear Jivana Didi just joined because she thought it was 1 hour earlier.
I'm sorry, I apologize on behalf of the governor of California, Jivana. And by the way, we're very happy, and it is natural for us to praise Ashram Maharaj, to praise the qualities of the devotees, and it's very natural and happy, and there's a long list of praise that we can do there too, including his prowess at football.
Yes. Jaya.
And luckily, I was on the same team as him.
Jaya.
The only time I played
A
football.
winning team.
I don't remember. Every team is a winning team in Vaishnava football.
I don't know about that much.
Oh, you played more Vaishnava football than me. You have more experience. But that was during one of the winter camps in Mexico, and we were playing football. We like organized football. It was the highlight of the afternoon. So, okay, dear devotees and Jivana Didi. Oh, you're connecting to the audio too. She can't even hear us.
Oh,
Please let her know that we're missing her. Now we have Priya Sundari about to arrive at the airport, so we need to make some arrangement to meet her. She's coming back. She couldn't stay away. she's coming back after the end of the festival. She's gone away. She must have been somewhere nearby. And so we're going to go to pick her up at the airport. And then the programs go on. Jai wonderful Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Mahārāj ki
Jai.
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 Wonderful Srila Guru Mahārāj, Srila Bhakti Rockok Sridhar Dev Goswami Mahārāj ki
Jai.
Jai. And wonderful Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Srila Gaura Kiśora Das Bābājī Mahārāj ki Jai.
Jai.
Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki
Jai.
Jai. Srila Jagannath Das Bābājī Mahārāj ki
Jai.
Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Bhaga ki Jai.
Jai.
Ananta Koti, the unlimited millions of pure Vaishnavas, they are there.
Jai.
And where they all fully reside is in Goloka Vrindavan,
Jai.
by the way. Unlimited, like in front of us, unlimited jiva souls in all these plants of the rice fields. Well, they're unlimited, pure devotees of the Lord. Ki
Jai.
Jai. All the assembled, assembled in Gurudev's English, all the assembled devotees, Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Nandi Hari Hari.
Jai Srila Bhaktiranjan Madhusudana Maharaj ki Jai.
And all the present day Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Nandi Hari.
Hari, Hari Bol.
And Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Namo Namaha.
Namaha. With all best wishes from all of us here. Send your best wishes, it's an order. Okay.
Best wishes.
Best wishes.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so
Wonderful.
much, Maharaj. So nourishing. Thank you,
Amra Ashchi. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna. So very special. And our dear Jivana Didi, I don't know whether you can hear us, but you have to watch from the beginning. We are so happy that you're back. So happy. Bless you all. Hare Krishna. Dandavats.